How to break out of the cycle of being unfit for years and finally get in shape. If you're like most people, you're probably in decent shape as a child and a young adult, but then as you got a little bit older, life responsibilities took over and fitness took a back seat. Today we're going to talk about how to get fitness out of the back seat, put it in the front seat, maybe in the passenger seat, so you can be proud of how you look and use fitness to better the rest of your life. The first thing we need to do is be realistic about where you're at. A lot of people have this fitness delusion in their mind where they think they're in pretty good shape and they think, oh, you know, I kind of know about fitness and nutrition, when in reality, they barely work out, they don't know what to eat, they eat like trash, and everyone knows it. So first step is be realistic and take an inventory of where you're at. How much do you weigh? How much weight do you think you have to lose? Take some progress pictures. Pisses me off when people don't take progress pictures right at the start, because that's gonna create the best transformation, right? Take some pictures of yourself. Have a look at those pictures. What would you change? How do you look in t-shirts? How do you look in dresses? Be realistic about where you're at and where you want to go. That leads me very nicely into step 2. Find out where you wanna go. Pick some specific goals that you wanna aim for physique-wise. Maybe it's a certain look, maybe it's a certain weight, maybe it's a certain lift you wanna hit. Set some goals and write those down. Have those goals next to your current progress pictures. Now we've got two things, right? We've got where we are, we've got where we wanna be. The only thing left is to bridge the gap between the two. On a side note, if you want every little bit of detail on how to get from here to here, that's what I make videos about. Feel free to subscribe, I make one every single day. The only thing left is to create a plan to go from here to here with as little resistance as possible. All we need to do is break that down to a series of steps. Let's say your main goal is to lose weight, and we've decided we're gonna lose 15 kilos. Might seem like a crazy amount, but if you break it down to the daily and weekly and monthly actions, it's not actually that hard. If you've been unfit for years and you've really let yourself go fitness-wise, you need to redefine who you are as a person. The person you are right now is not a person that's in physical shape, and you wanna change that. So we need to identify what a person, this person, would do in order to look the way they do. And once we figure that out, you begin enacting those behaviors over here to get yourself over there. It's very simple. Let's say this person is 15 kilos lighter, they've got six-pack abs, they've got good muscle definition. They probably watch what they eat and eat relatively healthy foods in a calorie deficit. So you're gonna start doing that. We're gonna create a nutrition plan, we're gonna lower your calories down to help shred that body fat with your diet. We mentioned they have six-pack abs. We're also gonna start doing ab workouts. They also have good muscle definition. So we're gonna start training 3 or 4 times a week. Nothing crazy, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, 3 or 4 times a week. If we combine those 3 factors, calorie deficit, training 3 or 4 times a week, incorporating some ab training because we really want to see those six-pack abs, and we repeat that over and over and over again, consistently, for anywhere between 3 to 6 months, you'll see an enormous change. Enormous. It's almost mind-blowing how different it would be. We probably won't lose those 15 kilos in 3 to 4 months, but we may lose something pretty close, depending on how aggressive the calorie deficit is. So from this point onwards, that's the plan you follow. You've created your ideal, you've been realistic about where you currently are, and you've crafted a plan to get you from here to here. Maybe you need some help from a nutritionist and a coach, maybe not. All you do is enact that plan. And as you go, you keep checking in, you keep taking photos, you're realistic about how the progress is going. Maybe you need to change some things, maybe you need to incorporate some new exercises or a little bit of a different diet. But gradually you walk down that path and it becomes more and more realistic the further down the path you get. And before you know it, that crazy transformation all the way out here actually starts to seem quite achievable. And the beautiful thing about this is, in the same way that you've slowly reinforced an unhealthy diet throughout your life, you can slowly reinforce a healthy diet. As you start to see physical changes and even mental changes, that reinforces your behavior. It stimulates dopamine in your mind. That's what your brain's trained to do. It reinforces behaviors that make you feel good. So as you start to lose weight and as your abs slowly start to appear, your brain says, hang on, all this work I'm putting in is actually paying off. I can see it in real time. That creates a positive feedback loop that spirals you upward towards this ideal. Now, a few little tips to help you on this path, because it is, while it sounds simple, it's not easy. That's what I always say about fitness. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, because this thing up here, your brain, is gonna fuck with you a little bit. So let's get over some of the things that's gonna throw your way. Number 1 is the distance. The distance will seem very great. It'll seem really big between where you are and where you wanna be. And what you do when this becomes overwhelming is you break it down to the smallest possible step. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So if you're intimidated by how far you are from your goal physique, all you do is break it down to the steps you have to do today to get you closer to the goal. The goal is out there, it's way out in the distance. Intimidating, right? It's 20 kilometers away and you've got to walk the entire way. But all you have to do today is take the first step. So maybe that looks like, today I go to the gym. That's it. I go to the gym, do a couple of sets, nothing too crazy, then I leave. You're a step slightly closer to that goal. And the beautiful thing about that is, even if you go to the gym and do 1 set of arms, you just do 5 bicep curls, you're closer to that goal than you were yesterday when you didn't go to the gym. And like I said, when you take a positive step in the right direction, that reinforces it in your brain. And the next day you might do 2 sets of arms, and the path continues. You start to walk along the path. So if things seem overwhelming, break it down to the smallest possible step. Just do that. That's all you gotta do. And be humble about the kind of step you need to take. Maybe for some people, the big step for that day is not eating a second bag of chips after dinner. You know, that might seem crazy. It's a really small step. Oh, I won't eat a second bag of chips. But for someone, that's a big step, and every step in the right direction counts. So be humble, break it down to the steps you can actually achieve. Tip number 2, stick close to people that have the life you want to live. Surround yourself with knowledge, learn as much as you can to get yourself from here to here. Maybe that means you subscribe and watch my videos, or maybe it means you buddy up with someone and go to the gym together. Humans are social creatures. We need to absorb positive energy from other people to get us where we want to go. My 3rd tip is to enjoy the process. This may seem really far away, but as you get closer and closer and closer, you realize the beautiful part is actually in the progress. When you get here, it's gonna feel awesome, yes, but you know what's gonna feel more awesome? Looking back at all the progress you've made. So the progress itself is the best part. So be happy and push through the progress. That's the part you're gonna look back on and be really grateful you went through. I wanna leave you with this, right? You may have fallen into an unhealthy life for the past, I don't know how many years, but the beautiful thing about us as humans is we can always change, we can always improve. And the fact that you're watching this video, it means you've already taken the first step along that path. And what did I say about the first step? It reinforces the second step. If you want more content like this, subscribe to me. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm here every fucking day, mate, helping you out. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you then.